Well, good morning, everybody. This is Jamie Silver with Herff Jones Yearbooks. Today, we're going to talk mostly about portraits. Before we get into that, I just want to share with you an experience I had. So, as you know, I'm not a big sports fan myself, but as a photojournalist, that side of me was really interested in going to the Cubs parade. So, I actually went down Friday with a friend of mine. We saw the parade, didn't go to the rally, and luckily we did because we actually got out of the city at a decent time. But I want to share a couple photos with you. And I want to share with you these photos and say if you need any for your yearbook, I'm more than welcome to share these with you. I haven't gone through them all. I just grabbed a couple examples here to show you this morning. But again, as a photojournalistic side of me, I just had a blast. It was a great event, a lot of energy in the air, and it's just a fun event to be at, even though, you know, I'm not the biggest sports fan in the world. Most of you know that about me. Seeing the river turn blue, just the amount of people on Michigan Avenue, which is where we were, was just amazing. So it was a really fun event. Again, if you have photos of your own, awesome. If you typically buy photos from APA or other sources, and you'd like some of the Cubs, I'm happy to donate these to your yearbook if you'd like these. So just send me an email and let me know. I'll be happy to share them with via Dropbox for you so you can use them. But again, there's a ton. I still need to go through them. But if there's some that you might like for your yearbook, I'm more than happy to share. So just let me know. Okay, so with that done, today we're going to focus on portraits. It's that time of year where we're going through portraits, uploading. It's one of the most common questions I get this time of year. So I did want to share. This is a series of videos, so we're going to share a couple of these today. And the first one, we kind of went over this on the last episode recently, but it's how to upload your portraits and then all the steps. It's essentially a 3-step process. 1, we upload. 2, we proofread to make sure the names, grades, classrooms, and all that are correct as far as spelling. And then the third is flowing on pages, which we have a wizard to help you with. We'll go through that step 3 with several little videos, just tips and tricks and tweaks that you can really make the wizard do what you'd like to get the photos on the page. So we're going to start with this, and then I'll be back shortly.
This tutorial will cover uploading portraits from the disk provided by your school photographer. A portrait disk should be formatted according to the guidelines from the Professional School Photographers Association, or PSPA. The disk should include an index text file listing all your students. A properly formatted index file is set up so that names and images match up when you load them into the system. Once you upload your portraits, you'll be able to edit the information from within the library. To upload a PSPA formatted disk, insert the disk into your computer and navigate in your operating system to the CD/DVD drive. You'll need to select the entire contents of this disk and compress it into one zip file for uploading. When you open the disk, you may see the index file and image folders directly, or you may see a folder that contains the index file and image subfolders. Either way, you should select all the files and folders on the disk and compress them. If you have multiple files, click on the first file and then shift-click on the last file to select them all. To compress the files on Windows, right-click the selected files and choose Send to Compressed or Zip Folder. Windows will most likely ask you if you would like to save the compressed file on your desktop. Click Yes. To do this on a Mac, Control-click the selected files and choose Compress. The zip file should automatically be placed on the desktop of your computer. Once the file is zipped and ready to go, log in and navigate to the library. Open the Portrait section of the library and click the Import Portrait CD button. Click Browse. Locate the zip file on your computer and click Open. Then choose Upload, and the zip file will begin transferring to the server. The upload of your PSPA file progresses through 3 steps. In Step 1, the zip file is uploaded to the server. In Step 2, the system reviews the index file and matches the names with the portraits. In Step 3, the portraits are added to your library. While the portraits are being imported, you may navigate to other parts of the program and continue working. You must, however, stay logged in until the first step is complete. Once Step 1 is complete, you're free to log out. Your portraits will be waiting for you when you return. If something goes wrong, you'll be notified of the problem. For example, Step 1 might let you know that your internet connection was lost during the upload. Or Step 2 might inform you that it didn't find the index text file, so there's no list of students to process. If you attempt to upload and an error occurs twice in a row, your file will be sent directly to the plant for assistance. The plant personnel will review the zip file, try to fix any issues, and upload it into your library. And that's how you upload your portraits from your PSPA disk.
And again, if you have any trouble with that, please feel free to call me or tech support or Sarah. We're happy to help. But that's the typical problems we have are that red icon you saw, error on upload, and it's usually because the index file is not where it needs to be. It's usually an easy fix. You can call me, Sarah, tech support. We can help you through that. But that's that step. Step 2 is proofreading to make sure all the names are correct. So we're going to jump into this, and I'll be right back.
After your portrait disk has been uploaded, you'll need to review the portrait names and other information for accuracy. To do so, navigate to your library. Then enter the Portrait section. Review your portrait information by clicking on the Data view. You can scroll up and down to check names, grades, and teacher information. The search function can be used to find a particular person. Type the person's last name, first name, or grade, and press Enter or Return on the keyboard. Click the Clear button to show all portraits. You may also use Advanced Search to sort by individual grades or teachers. In the Advanced Search dialog box, check the box beside the grouping you'd like to find, then click Search. Only the portraits with that designation will show in your library window. Click the Clear button to show all portraits. You can also use this to locate portraits with different designations. For example, I want to find the students in Ms. Lander's homeroom. When I look in the teacher area, I see that I have 2 different designations in my data. One is Ms. Landers and the other is just Landers. These both refer to the same Ms. Landers, so I'll check both boxes and click Search. Both designations are now shown in the library window. Any of these search results can be printed out by going to the File menu and choosing Print. This creates a directory proof, which is a printed check sheet that allows you to verify the name spelling, grade, and teacher information for each portrait. You could, for instance, print a check sheet for each homeroom teacher so that the teachers can review the lists and let you know if any changes are needed. Or you could compare the portrait check sheets to a data list from the school office. You can make changes by going to the Data view in the Portrait library. Click into a cell and type the correct information. Be sure to use a consistent format for grades and teacher names to make it easier when you're ready to flow portraits on your pages. You may have students with no portrait available. If a student's name is on the index file from the portrait CD, but the student does not have a portrait on the disk, then you can add them with a Photo Not Available placeholder when you upload your portraits. You can also enter a missing student manually. Go to the Edit menu and choose Insert Record. Then enter the name, grade, and teacher information in the Data view. If you later obtain a portrait for the student, select the placeholder graphic, then go to Edit and choose Replace Image to place an actual portrait into the library. If the image you upload is not a properly cropped portrait, you may need to adjust the image once you flow the portraits. When you've made all the desired edits, you're ready to flow portraits on your yearbook pages.
As you saw in Mark's demo there, this is probably the most time-consuming piece of the portraits. It's proofing to make sure all the names and all the grades are correct. That's where you're going to spend most of your time here. And as you saw, he showed you how to print out a proof sheet, directory proof that is, and share that. Again, the more eyes you can get to look at this, the better to catch all those little things, because what you want to do is catch them all here at step 2, rather than on step 3 when we flow them on the pages, because once you get them on the pages, they're in alphabetical order by classroom grade or whatnot, and it's kind of like a big domino effect. If you move one, it really affects a lot. So changing them here, as he just showed you, is the best and easiest way to catch all the mistakes and eliminate extra work time you're going to have later. Okay, step 3 of the 3-step process is the flowing of the portraits on the pages. This is really the fastest part because there's a wizard that helps you walk through the steps, and we're going to go through those videos now, and then there's a few more details we can look at afterwards.
In this tutorial, we'll begin looking at the Portrait Flow Wizard. In other tutorials, we looked at uploading portraits and proofing the portraits. Now we'll look at how you flow the portraits onto your yearbook pages. Navigate to the Book module and select the page on which you wish to begin a portrait flow. Then go to the Edit menu and choose Flow Portraits. The first step is to create a new portrait group by clicking the Add button. Then type a name for this group of portraits. For this example, we'll use Sophomores. Next, decide whether you'd like to flow with placeholder images or the actual portraits. For this example, we'll leave it set to portraits. In the second column, you choose whether you would like to group your portraits by grade or by teacher. The area below shows all the entries for that designation in your portraits. Since I have high schoolers in my portraits, I see those grades as options here. Click the box beside the group or groups you'd like to include in this particular flow. I'll choose the 10th grade. In the third column, you decide what you'd like to do with names that have no associated portraits. Inline will flow a placeholder graphic for names that have no portrait. End of group will put a listing of names that have no portrait at the end of the section, and none will cause the system to ignore names that have no associated portraits and not include them in the portrait flow. One additional note, if you're flowing by teacher, you'll see this option to include the teacher portrait with the flow. If you're interested in this option, be sure to view the tutorial listed on screen. I'll switch back to flow the 10th graders. Once you've made these choices, click Next. In the Page Select step, you confirm the page number on which you want the flow to begin. The preview area shows you the current content of the spread. You can change the starting page using the pull-down list shown here. When you've confirmed the starting page, click Next.